What was that sound?
That was weak.
That was pathetic, bro. There we go. All right, guys, what's up? We're here today for a little pull day. Back, a little bit of rear delts, a little bit of biceps. Let's train. All right, first exercise we're doing with this, like that prime bar. You might see it on my swipe through I did for one of last week's like pull back sessions. I used to do this a lot actually, especially when I lived in Florida and I was like training with Eddie and Kyle and stuff. I like these style pull downs, like a neutral grip with that like adjustable prime bar where you can kind of put the D handles on if you like look up here quick. And I hadn't done it in a while, so we reintroduced it last week. It felt really good, so I'm gonna keep it in there. It feels really good. I feel really targeted on the lats. It's like a nice, you can adjust the width on that so make it like the right width for you to really get those elbows driving into the lats. So I'm gonna start here. For a while I was doing my like primary row first. And in a lot of ways, I still believe that's probably the most advantageous, but it ain't broke, don't fix it. I did this last week. It felt good and I had a really good workout. So yeah, we're gonna keep it this week. So start here, then do our like primary rowing movement second after that. So that's it. And like you guys heard me talk about in like one of my other things, try and remember like what you're trying to hit when you're really extending ranges of motion. You know, like there, I wasn't even straightening my arm, but my lat was fully stretched there. You know, I came up and I'm thinking of pushing my elbow forward. So I'm kind of like pushing it forward, letting it rise up until I feel that stretch in the lat, not going like this and just elevating my shoulder, stretching my bicep, rear delt, all these kind of things. I'm keeping it until there's maximal stretch in the lat and not just doing this because it's like, ooh, fuller range of motion. I'm keeping the tension, keeping the range of motion within what is the targeted muscle, intended muscle, which is the lat here, right? So. One more. I don't think I have anything to say. First set felt good. Maybe undershot a little bit. I was like 13, 14 reps there. I kind of like to keep that 8 to 12. So I'll probably keep it at that same weight for the second set. Then I'll probably drop down kind of like that 10 range, 11 range. So should be good. So if I can keep it there, have the reps kind of, you know, migrate down to where I want them, I think that should be fine. One more. Good. One more. That was good. It was like 10 plus 2-ish. It's also part of the newest merch launch from Raw. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted, I think it was probably like a week or so ago. They had these drop. So there's like a couple pieces like this. They got some that are kind of like a beigey off-white color. There's like 3 or 4 different shirts, some pretty sick shorts, a couple cutoffs, a couple hats, stuff like that. So it's actually a really nice drop. And the materials on these are like a lot nicer than your average like merch shirt. They're like a thicker, softer, like stretchier, more athletic feeling shirt. They're actually really, really nice. You know, comparable to like good apparel brands and not just like merchy feeling. So check them out at getrawnutrition.com. They'll have them on there and code in. All right, last set here. I'm gonna do 3 on this. I've been like slowly upping my volume a little bit, just like little by little, until I'm starting to not feel as good. I mean, my recovery seems to be pretty good. My strength is improving, if anything, slightly. So I don't see any reason to not be increasing it. I'm not getting any negative feedback, so I'll just keep doing it like in small little bits, you know, like I just throw an extra set here, extra set there, and kind of go by how I feel. Like I came in today, I'm like, I feel good. My energy feels good, you know, and then say if I do 3 sets on this and 3 sets on my next thing, then after that, I don't feel like I want to do 3 sets anymore. It doesn't feel like it'd be productive. Like I kind of talked about in the last YouTube or last video, then I won't do it from there. So, but for now, this is what feels good. So like generally things like this, I would do 2 sets on. Now I've kind of increased that to 3. then we'll kind of keep going from there and see until I end up at those Jay Cutler level sets, and I'll be doing 47 sets of everything, and I'll be fucking huge. Win the Olympia, you know?
Come on. Let's go.
Okay, that was good. I had exactly a 1 rep regression every set. So I went from like 13 to 12 to 11 with like, 1 assisted each set. So that felt good though. What I'm really focusing on lately is like really making, I don't know how to explain this, but like the arm movement and elbow drive, like primary, and not having a lot of like other secondary movement in it. So like I'm really trying to keep my body in a fixed plane and just like driving that elbow up, keeping that same position, letting it stretch on the lat, and then driving back that down. I'm not letting my body move or like doing a lot of, which sometimes I think can be productive. But I also find for certain exercises, especially because I probably had 15 years of bad habits in certain circumstances, to really learn how to engage that muscle like in a proper function form like that. So, I've been a little more locked in on my like range of tension on a few things, and I definitely find it's helping. So, I don't know. I haven't felt hardcore enough lately, so I felt it was important to work in something with, Fuad would deem hardcore, like some good old meat and potatoes, dumbbell, slug and iron shit, So we're gonna do some dumbbell rows. Single arm, bent over dumbbell rows. I actually really like this exercise. I used to do them a lot. I think it is great. The only problem with it, I think, is because there's so much like supporting yourself, there's a lot of like secondary causes of fatigue. It's like you're holding a heavy weight bent over, holding yourself supporting with one arm versus you like using a machine that's chest supported. I think you can be a little more focused, but there's nothing that just makes you feel like a fucking bodybuilder than doing like some heavy dumbbell rows. So today we're gonna be bodybuilders and we're gonna do some of these and see how it goes. My lower back's a little scared. I haven't done these in a while and I feel like my erector's a little like flimsy from doing these kind of things, but we'll see. Well, not that weak yet. 125 still felt, so 125, 120? What was that, 120? Still felt pretty easy, so that's good.
Come on. Go on.
Whew. It's heavy.
Good. Let's go. Come on.
All right. Not good, not bad, 160s for like 8.7. I'm pretty happy with that. Not having done those in a while is pretty good. I think my best with these is like maybe 200s for 12, 13, but I don't think that's very impressive when I've dumbbell flat pressed 200s for that many reps, so who knows, Okay. Come on.
Two more. Another one. Come on.
Oh, on the toe. Caught me there.
Actually?
A little bit, yeah, just on my big toe. It's tough with this, especially with my right arm. This is my arm that I've had cleaned out a bit, but it still doesn't like fully straighten. So at the bottom of that is like kind of this weird moment of like, I feel this need to want to extend it, but I know I'm not going to extend it. Like there's a mechanical blockage there. So it's like when I'm getting low and I feel like I want to go like, get my arm straight and I can't. So my inclination is to drop my shoulder to try and extend, which I have to remind myself of like the movement's coming here, not here, Definitely feels a bit odd on some movements like that, but I don't think you need, like I said, on the pull downs, I don't think you need more straightening of the elbow to get more stretch or get full stretch and full tension on the lat, right?
Two more. Come on. Another one.
That felt good. Whew. All right. 2 sets down. I think I might get a third one in. Is that crazy? Yeah. I feel good, so do it while I got it, you know? I think I'll get one more in here. Stick with that 140. I got like 10 solid ones there. So I think if I can do one more set, keep it kind of around 8, 9, I'd be happy with that. So, you know, 160s for 8, 9, 140s for 10, then 140s for 8, 9. I think that's good. So take a couple minutes here, catch my breath, and then bang out one more of these. Okay.
Let's go. Good. Keep going. One more.
That was a good 9. Felt good there. Got a little body English on the last one, but you know, felt like I had a little bit more in me, so slugged it out there. And one thing, I've probably talked about this a million times, but is taking adequate breaks between sides on like unilateral exercises. I feel like, and I used to do it all the time. I finish one arm, you know, I'm doing a single arm exercise, and I just go do the other arm. But when you did the first side, you were fresh. And now you just did a set and you're gonna just jump into the other side, but you're not fresh. So I think you should take similar break, you know, at least like a minute there, just so that at least your breathing is regulated. So that's not like a limiting factor in your exercise, right? So, you know, you want to be able as fresh, comparably as fresh for the second side as you were for the first side. You know, you don't want to, the only time I can maybe make that exception is if you have like a significant discrepancy between like 2 sides or 2 muscles, you know, and then, yeah, you do the weak one first, immediately go to the other one. But even then, you're probably going to be matching reps approximately, or aiming to in your head. It's kind of weird not to sometimes. I don't know, maybe people do that. You know, I usually think it's most ideal to say I took 2 minutes to do my first side, and then I'll wait at least a minute or 2 before I do my second side, which is one of the reasons I am, and I've talked about this before, is such a big fan of doing 2 arms, like both arms at the same time exercise. Because it makes my fucking workout feel so much longer when I'm doing feel like double of everything, because I want to wait adequately between each side, right? So. Good. Okay. Next up, we got this pre-core chest supported row. Doing it like as a upper back, mid trap, rear delt, whatever. That part of the back, you know? All that fun stuff that we haven't been doing with our more lat focused exercises. So we're gonna get a couple sets on here. This machine's actually pretty good. We don't use it very much here. It's on the other side of the gym, but this is actually a solid piece. So usually over the other gym, there's a Life Fitness one we use that I'm sure you guys have seen. It's like, has the handles, then the scoop under, and you can underhand grip too. A couple different variations, and we do usually our upper back on that. So it ranges between doing like a cable. We'll do like 2 handles on the cable upper back. We'll do like some kind of chest supported, like a T-bar or the Humbler, or one of these machine rows, or a dumbbell chest support. And I really think any of them work, and they can all be great exercises. I kind of swap them out depending on like how I feel and what's available to me that day. Today it's this one. That's it.
Come on. You got more. Good. Come on.
Oh, that's good.
Squeeze.
One thing I always try and think about for these like kind of chest support rows, specifically upper back rows, is I think of it like almost conversely as I do a press. When I'm doing a press, I'm thinking of kind of like pushing myself into the bench. And when I'm doing this, I'm thinking of pulling myself into the chest pad. You know, so your instinct isn't to pull and lean back with it. You know, I'm thinking of pulling myself forward into these, like pulling this way instead of pulling them back towards me. So it's just like a good mental cue. Keeps you stable and focused against that, and also keeps you kind of targeted on the intended muscle instead of like leaning back and swaying and getting some secondary movements in there. So I find it's a helpful tip to try out.
Come on.
Oh, okay. Let's just crush you, you know? All right, last movement for back here. Gonna get a pullover in, a couple sets here. Finishing movement, you know? Big finishing movement guy over here. Probably get another 2-3 sets in here. And then get my one rear delt that I do on this pull-ish day. And then get a bicep in to finish her off. So I'm gonna use this. This is a gym pin, yeah? Gym pin, kind of cool handle. If you guys haven't actually used this one, these things are so fucking comfortable. Like how you hold them, it just feels so nice in your hand. Like for pullovers, like see how nice that fits? You know, I have pretty big hands and that still for me fits like really nice. So for anyone, I think it's like good ergonomics on it. So whether you're doing like tricep, and I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. Good pieces deserve recognition for, you know, pullovers, tricep extensions, anything like that. I think it's a great piece. If you're looking for like a new rope attachment of any kind, it's definitely one to check out.
Good. Nice stretch. Come on. Let's go. One more. Last one. Come on, stretch good.
One tip for any of these exercises, especially pullovers, is like be mindful of your angles. You know, you'll see people standing like really close and have the thing right above them, and you're getting like dead spots in your tension curve. So like think of having like a direct path of alignment for you, kind of the range of motion you want your exercise to move through, and do your best to try and like align it in that. So like here, you know, where we're gonna be, this is kind of coming back, you know, into that pocket of where we're trying to drive it. So just be mindful of that when you're like setting up any of your exercises, right? Second last exercise here, we're gonna do our rear delt movement. You guys have seen me do this on an incline with the cables and coming kind of behind. I've done it standing upright. I'm gonna do a flat today. I think these are all really good variations. All work great, and I think it's kind of like ones you gotta play around with and find where you feel the best. I think, like, look, not feel, but feel, you know what I mean? They're all very similar in their function and the angle and the targeted muscle. So whatever you feel the most stable, most comfortable, I think is the way to go. So we're gonna do the flat variation today. If you haven't done this one before, definitely try it out. So you just kind of set the cables kind of at the shoulder height comparatively to the bench, you know, which is where my shoulders will be. And I'm literally just gonna lay down, cross as if I was standing up, and I'm gonna do a rear delt fly, you know? Enough said. Great exercise. The hardest thing is getting back out of it, you know, unscathed. Yeah, it feels really good. I like using the cuff, but I actually just sit the cuff over my hand. I'm not like putting it on my wrist. I get on my hand, a little longer lever. I don't know, I'm making things up as I talk. And I'm just thinking about pushing the outsides of my hands out, kind of keeping a relaxed grip, which doesn't really make sense. You should kind of want a tight grip, so you should be handing. But I find for these, to keep that like long circular range of motion, I kind of just have the cuff in my hand, and I'm just thinking of kind of pushing out with it. Feels really good, so try it out.
2 more. Let's go. 1 more. Come on. Good. Good.
Whew, that was a bit heavy, maybe. That was like 8, 9, but I felt like they were a little bit unfocused, you know? Like I was just like trying to fucking hoof it the last couple and not quite on my rear delts well. So I'll go like a hair lighter. This prime cable is so goddamn heavy, it's so hard to predict sometimes like what it's gonna be until you get a set in. So we'll figure it out for the next one.
Jay, get out of the way.
Come on. 2 more. Let's go. Good. Another one. Come on. Come on.
1 more.
Squeeze.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on a little pull day. It's so hard for me not to recap the whole workout like I used to do. I want to do it, but I'm gonna not do it because it's not productive. Things feel really good right now. I feel like firing on all cylinders, and I've got like a good groove with like my sleep's good, my nutrition's good, training's feeling good, like my energy levels as a whole. I think I figure my digestion out a little bit more. I don't know if you guys heard me talk about this. I actually like cut all poultry completely out of my diet. I was feeling like kind of sickly when I would eat it, like just the idea of eating it. And I was like having some wacky digestion, so I cut it out completely. And honestly, I felt a lot better since. So now I'm eating beef and white fish exclusively as my meat sources. You know, and some game meats here and there, like I have elk and stuff like that I have residuals from, or venison, whatever, but all poultry, turkey, chicken, I've cut out pretty much completely. You know, like I go to my parents' house and they're serving chicken. I'm not gonna not eat it. I ain't that guy, but in my day-to-day routine, I've cut it and it's made a big difference. So, you know, my energy's definitely been improved because my digestion's improved. So all in all, things are feeling pretty good. So I think we're in a good spot to maybe start ramping things up a little bit soon, maybe. I don't know, who knows, you know? But that's it for today. We'll see you guys next time.